Welcome, Unity Spiritual Center. I started earlier and I was told we need to wait and put it on tape. And we just sang a song, Love is My Decision. And it's fascinating that the whole idea of the spiritual path comes down to choosing love or fear. And fear has many, many things connected to it. Fear has anger to it. Fear has rejection to it. Fear has, what else?
Anxiety.
Anxiety.
Illness.
Say it again.
Illness.
Illness.
Guilt.
All these negative things in life that we don't want, we're trying to get away from, are connected to fear. And we're told that there's either love or fear. And we just sang a song that says, love is my decision. Now, we've had a very interesting yesterday. Anybody agree? And we're going to talk about that. But the idea behind it is, we're talking about consciousness. We're talking about an energy within the biosphere, the world of fear and anger or love. And each of us contributes to that. So we each make a decision to live in love or in fear. And that's really the dividing line. Okay? And the dividing line is where am I, what am I adding to, what am I bringing into my life? And how am I affecting my human beings, my fellow human beings, okay? Now we're going to dig into what happened yesterday. And for posterity, we all found out that one of the presidential candidates, let's just say he got a superficial wound that could have been a lot worse. And somebody acting on anger, somebody acting on, we have no idea why. But would anybody agree there's a negative aspect to that conversation? And we all had a reaction, one way or the other. And the question is, what kind of reaction did we have? And how much energy do we support that conversation with? Because energy is everywhere present. We live in a world of energy. And that energy is created by our thoughts. Which takes me into what I originally wanted to talk about today, which was the third unity principle. Okay? So, Matt, if you go to the next one. And there's the principles. Now, number one, we started out with, there's only one power and presence in the universe, active as the universe. That is God. Everybody there? And you can call that anything you want to. We call God the essence of God, many, many different names and different religions, but it's all the same energy present within the universe, which is the presence or power for good. There's an energy for good in the universe. Number one. Number two, our essence, ourselves, are of God. So you look at your hand, that's God. In an energy aspect, not a physical aspect. Anybody agree you need energy to move your body? Stop and think about this. We are walking, talking machines here to bring in the energies of God and make a difference in the world around us. We have tracks or legs to move around. We have arms and fingers and hands to pick things up. We have eyes to see. We have ears to hear. So we are equipped to be here as a fully functioning machine to get God's work done. Ultimately, which is a spiritual concept, which means we are the essence of God. Now, number three, which is today, we are co-creators with God. So we're here to do God's work and create God's work as we're here. And the way we do that is creating realities through thoughts held in mind. So we have an energy of thought. Now, thought is one of those interesting things. Everybody thinks you cannot hear my thoughts. Okay? But thoughts have energy. Isn't that an interesting idea? So, from time immemorial, for thousands of years, other religions have talked about the energy centers within the body. So, Madam, if you go to the next slide. Which one came up? Oh, Okay, those are the Bible verses.
You want this
I
one?
want the,
Here.
yes, that one. And this is through the Buddhist and the Hindu, and now some of the esoteric Christian groups are working with chakras. Now, please understand that the term chakra means energy wheel. That's the translation back in from Sanskrit, which goes back 3,000 or 4,000 years. Okay, so these are energy wheels at different points in the body. What's interesting is modern science has found that there are thought cells or brain cells in each of those locations. In other words, the heart is like another brain, and it's surrounded by cells that have memory and have all those brain cell kind of things. And all these different centers in the body are energy wheels, where the energy that we are is transmitted out into the. Or anybody ever had a phone? And you can pick up the phone and dial the world around it. Yes, in today's world. It's an energy transfer that has a code on top of it that gives a voice on the other end. What is that? That is the human machine full of energy wheels, energy centers, that's created as a machine that has all the capabilities of working in this. Because I can pick this up, I can even do hello, I can do all kinds of things you can do, and these are the gifts we are given to work with in this physical world. And then we have all these energy centers that come in that give us how to do it. And if you go back, no, you don't need to, but Genesis 1:27, you were created in the image and Israelite likeness of God. So we're here to do God's work, and we're given all the gifts we need to do that. And it tells us in the Bible that you were created like that. Yes? Okay, so it's a hello, what are we here for? And we're wired. We have all these things. Now, we've also been given choice. Now, I did this, choice and choice. And as far as we know, we have two choices. We have choice to live in fear, or we have a choice to live in love. Now, anybody familiar with on-off switches? Yes. You turn the light on or turn the light off. You turn a radio on, you turn the radio off. You turn the water on, you turn the water off. You drop something, you don't drop something. Okay? So all these things are on and off. And that's like love or fear. So I'm either living in love or I'm living in fear. And the thought structure that I bring in changes all of the transmissions here. What is happening in today's world, the modern science, the medical community is finding that we are full of chemicals that are transmitted and begun by the thoughts we have. And it turns on genes and turns off other genes, it turns on switches, turns on other switches, and it goes to a gland, and the gland says, okay, do this, da-da-da-da-da, and then it happens. Okay, so all of this is now coming in. The whole idea is stem cells, which were the original cells. And folks, this is what's happening in today's world. And this goes back 3,000 years. So we are walking, talking transmitters of energy of all kinds of things that God wants to get done. And the problem is, we have choice what we do with it. Okay? Let's stop and think about it. What holds us back? Anybody ever had a great idea and then it's all comes to right? I couldn't do that. I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too young, I'm whatever. Okay, so those are the two states of being that we're working with every cotton picking minute of the day. And in our culture, we have been programmed to believe operating in love is completely ridiculous. crazy. How can you love somebody that did this to me? And we keep looking for the answers. We keep looking for the answers. We keep looking for the answers. And we keep getting the answers, and we keep getting the answers from our spiritual work, and we keep saying, that's crazy. So we literally deny the thought-changing ideas that could produce the life we're looking for. It's kind of like deciding that I have a pain here, and the best way to get rid of it is keep hitting it. Do you understand that? Okay. So, and I have to do this. Okay. So you see, here we've got this. How good am I doing here? So, on that side we have this. And on this side, I don't even like to write this. And that's what our life is. And we live over here, afraid of everything, and then wonder why we don't have more of that. Now, let's... I must be fearful. Okay. So looking at it realistically, how do we get into a life that is happy, joyful, healthy, wealthy? We live here. The fruits of the Spirit are what? Peace, happiness, joy. And what do we live in really when we walk out the door? And somebody tells me, be careful. We worry about, oh my God, what's going to happen out there? All those cars. So we have all these built-in traps that keep us centered in what's wrong, not what's right. And it really comes down to that simplicity. So we're going back, Madeline, if you would, go back to the 5 principles. We're going back here. We are co-creators with God. What does co-creator mean? Somebody help me.
The same as.
Say me.
The same as.
Same as. The essence of. So if we got a problem, who has the ability to correct it?
We do.
We do. Now, we can say God does through us, but it's innate within us to live in happiness, joy, and peace, which is the message of all Scripture, including all religious Scripture. It's okay. It's all going to work out. And there's a way to overcome things. However, it's difficult to choose that when I see something on TV that tells me there's hate out there. And how did that occur? Consciousness. See, do you understand if enough people are over here and we keep talking about that, what is created? There's an aura. It's almost like it's not, but it's the absence of God that motivates somebody who is sick in the mind to do something out of hate. And who contributed to that energy? Us somehow. Guys? And that's why I want to dig in here and get real clear about this. Okay? And is it easy? Sure it is. Politically, there are people that don't like this and don't like that. Does it really matter in the overall thing if I'm dwelling in love? Because if I'm in love with the universe, then the universe operates perfectly. So that's why we're divided as a nation and as consciousness, So, Tommy.
Is there more love in the world or more fear? There's more love, in my opinion.
Yeah, good. See, now that's your choice. But I'm saying it sneaks in. In other words, what was your reaction when you first heard about yesterday? Okay? It's telling. Okay? So it depends on your individual consciousness. However, I am looking, I tell Madeline, I want to keep, I'm learning how to get quieter. I'm learning how to get my mind to stop. Because love is no thing, which is another deeper idea. Because in other words, the mind stays busy, and the busier it is, the more distracted it is from nothing. And nothing is the original conversation or innate programming that we've been given by the Father. That's my belief. And if you look at it, the great, really spiritual guidance of the world is silence. But yet noise is everywhere present. So it's fascinating. So that's why I want to say, and it's up to me, and you're right, Tommy, it's individualized, okay? But we have a tendency to overlook what is really true for me. Wow.
I like when Madeline was doing the prayer box this morning, and part of her prayer was belief and faith.
Yes.
And when you think about belief and faith, to me, those are two like foundational ways where so many times when we're not in love, it's because we reverted back to some program from childhood.
Yep.
A way that we were able to cope with whatever was going on. And whenever we see that we've reverted to something other than love, belief and faith, I think, help to pull us back to the light side rather than the dark side.
It's a faith, it's a trust, it's a belief in the first three principles. Is that true? Now, I want Madeline to go to the next slide. Next one. Next one. There you go. These are Carillion photos. These are pictures of the energy around the human being. Now, we're looking at each other and we don't see these, but this is what's happening. You are transmitting energy of who you are, which is right back to what Valerie just said. We are a combination of everything we've learned from childhood. Okay? If I was raised in a big family, I have to go into that competition that occurs in the family. Okay? Or other things that happen. What happened in school? What happened when you were being raised? We don't know. There's conversations about what happens in the womb. There's all these conversations of what's being influenced the human being as it is being into this world, and what does it keep and transmit as an energy. Now, there are people, I don't know, maybe in this room that can see these things. Okay? But look at the different colors. Okay? And each of those colors is transmitting a different idea. So when we walk into a room, we are who we are, and people unconsciously pick it up. Okay? And then we wonder why we keep being treated the same all the time. So it's going back to that word love that cleans everything up. And this is what I'm getting clear. It is love or fear. And there is nothing in between. It is either love. Now, the question is, how can I love my next door neighbor that disses me all the time? And how can I love that aunt that criticizes me? Or how can, those are issues that you stop and think about it. We don't know until we try it. Okay? And it's amazing how, I'll do it again. It's amazing how Madeline straightens out when I decide that that's enough, I love her. And I'm sharing that because it's clear. I am creating my world, you are creating your world, and it surrounds us, okay? And, here he comes again. And the way to get back to this is by reconditioning the mind, which means prayer, meditation, affirmation, reading, hanging out with folks like us, and doing the work. Tommy.
You'd have to have some kind of, you have to see that energy because you pick the people you hang with. If you walk up to somebody that you have a bad feeling with, that's the energy
Yes.
you're getting from it.
Yes.
You don't hang with those people.
I
It's
agree.
like the people here in this church. You would hang with those people versus other people that.
Yeah, I agree. That's why some people come through the door and they're here and gone. Sometimes there's no question. Okay, and I don't know about you, but I showed up with this group 10 years ago. Oh my God, I need to stay here. And I said it to you, I don't know why I'm here. You guys sucked us in here, is what happened. That's an interesting conversation. Tommy,
But
again,
that
yeah.
energy goes both ways. As we drew you in,
Yeah.
you drew us to you.
Yeah, there's an energy in this room right now for
Exactly.
good. And do you ever, it's interesting to me. I wonder how the neighbors think about us. I have no idea. It's really interesting. I will tell you that I get calls from time to time asking if we can rent them our room. They call this the church. Yeah, I forgot to tell you that. I've had 3 or 4 of them. Because they see the sign on Sunday morning and assume this is the church. So thank you for giving it that. Now, anything else? The biggest thing for me is this is really, really true. And back to faith. It's faith, belief, trust. And it's okay, I make a choice to follow the path. Am I going to slip over here once in a while? Yeah. Okay. It's really interesting. So, from now on, given the political situation, no matter how I feel personally, I still feel love for whatever happens. Okay? Now, are there benefits from everything? There's gotta be. So we're going to wait and see how this whole thing unfolds. Anybody agree? It's very interesting what's going to happen. And I believe the highest and best will happen. Okay. Anybody else?
It's kind of like you're in a hurry and you get slowed down in traffic.
Yep.
And as you're going past this one spot, there's the radar, the cop with the radar. And then as soon as you get past the speed trap, everything picks up and you go. And I always say, God slowed me down so I didn't get a ticket. And letting go of the fear of the ticket, I'm always put in a safe position. I don't always speed.
See, yes, it's letting go of the fear. It really is. And it's like, it's easy to be fearful of where the United States as a culture is going based on these conversations, because they're big conversations. I mean, we're talking about a deficit, which is impossible. Okay, now that's me, you hear me? And it's going to work out. There's all kinds of issues. So it's knowing that that's going to work out. By the way, there is a theory that these negative energies, lack of God energies, do collect in a ball, and sometimes we drive through them. Okay, now, I don't know how valid that is, but this is true. And sometimes in classes, Madeline and I used to have, all you have to do is put your hands out with somebody, and you can feel the energy. And then back out, and you can feel where it starts. Now, our perception as human beings is very, very low. So, and HeartMath has said at least 6 feet in diameter is the energy. But who knows? It could go out into the universe because you're part of the universe. And I think we did that last week. What is your address? So you identify yourself as John Doe living at XYZ Street in Round Rock or Pflugerville, in Texas, in the United States, in the world, and then you go to the solar system, and stop and think about it. It is unlimited who you are as an identity. Because you could be on the star, on the whatever.
You have one more slide, and I'm super curious what you were gonna say about that slide. Did you wanna address it today, or is it for next
Go
week?
ahead.
Forward or backward?
Forward.
Forward.
Okay. That is an exact picture of the energy of a female, 35 years old, put on a plate. Yes.
When I was growing up and there was maybe a health issue or something, my mom would start rotating her hands until she felt her energy ball. And she would go, "Say you had a headache. You don't." And she would rotate this ball, and she would just slide the energy all over that person.
That is a healing conversation. Serene might be trained in that, yes.
And I have to say, the last Reiki treatment I got from Randy, I could feel the heat from his, it was just phenomenal.
Yeah. So this is the energy that your hands transmit. That's another Correllian photo. Now, if you don't believe me, please go on Google and Google all this stuff. All you have to do is Google. It's all there. Okay? And that's the energy that's in your hands. Good. I don't have any more slides. I do have more than I wanted,
But I think that too is really unique, because like when parents get handprints from their kids as part of, you know, the early learning thing, every one of those handprints is unique. And it's like, it just kind of goes back to that, you know, we're co-creators. Each of us is very individual. Each of us has certain gifts. Each of those Correllian images is different and unique and
It
perfect
is.
based on what we're here to do in the world.
Here's the key. We are actually hopefully proving to you that you're a creator. Who decides what you create?
We do.
So we talk about creation as creating only good. You're creating your world. And if you don't like your world, change it by going there. See, the confusion occurs. I'm going to say this because I was part of it in the goal setting and all that. In other words, it's bringing visualization and visualizing what you want. Yes? That's the key there. Bring in love and everything automatically harmonizes to the perfect pattern. Not what my ego's decided what the perfect pattern is. And so that's the idea there.
And that's when we go in belief and trust and faith that,
Belief and trust.
that there's
in-
something bigger than us that will take care of it.
So that's part of the leap there too. Because the ego is really masterful at messing the program up. Yes.
We're either in the flow or we're not, right? I mean, the universe is a flow of energy, perfectly designed,
Yep.
working in perfect harmony. So we're either plugged into that and we're the same, or we're not plugged into that, and so things don't work the way they're supposed to because we're not plugged in.
And it's love that's what we're saying. See, this creates disharmony. It creates wavelengths that go, okay. But we want to, oh, did I do that right? Okay. And when you hear the harmony, you know it's harmony. Music. Anybody agree? You hear disharmony in music, it goes far. Okay.
Yeah.
So there is an energy to everything that's in harmony to the overall harmony, and that is love. And I express love by doing nothing. In other words, how do I express love? I appreciate. Okay? I give thanks, gratitude. What else?
Presence.
But that's gratitude. That's the answer. So
Forgiveness.
forgiveness, big one. Okay? And those are all things that are contrary to what the ego wants us to do. Do you understand how many people go out of their way for revenge? And the outcomes generally go crazy, okay? So I think we've had enough. Tommy, you want to say anything else?
No, sir, I'm good.
I got him blocked off.
It's really giving it all up and just going into the silence and refusing to go into that. In other words, that's the unplugged state. Over here, that's what to plug into, which is literally nothing but peace and joy, happiness, gratitude, feeling. And wouldn't it be great to just walk through life happy? Okay, and happy is a physical world, by the way. Joy is a spiritual term. Okay? Or bliss is another one. Okay, I'm finished. Anybody else? Thank you.